It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
And I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley. Welcome. We are all across the USA this morning. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we're going to analyze something about the election here in just a moment. But first, the important stuff in politics.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alan got me this story from the Daily Mail UK. I didn't even see this one, but it's great. AOC was slammed for her apparent hypocrisy after putting JD Vance on blast for manspreading. Okay. Then quickly being caught in the same sitting position herself.
Uh-oh.
The New York Congresswoman reacted with distaste to a clip of Vance sitting comfortably in a cushy wide chair with his legs spread in a relaxed manner. "Why are you sitting like that?" she wrote on Tuesday in an apparent jab at Vance's spread eagle stance.
What? What? Spread eagle.
But it gets better.
But you have to know that you're building your own trap.
Right.
This kind of garbage.
But AOC's mockery was deconstructed within minutes.
Oh, yeah.
I just love this. Clown World. Have you ever seen that? The Clown World on X?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Clown World, an account on X known for criticizing liberals, took a screenshot of AOC's post and placed it side by side with her own wide-sitting posture less than 2 years ago.
Oh.
What, was there a time limitation on?
All right.
AOC, the account wrote over her criticism of Vance. Also AOC. The label, the image of her wide stance. Many other people replied with the same image of AOC's wide sitting stance.
Zero self-awareness. Like none. None. None.
Man, this is good. This is.
By the way, AOC. That's not what it means when someone tells you, hey, you should go after JD Vance for his positions.
Right.
That's not what it means at all. That's not,
oh, my God, that's a meme.
That's not what it means at all.
That's one of the AOC memes. It could be one of the AOC memes that we see out there. This is my favorite here. Another user posted a picture of AOC sitting at a table at a restaurant with her boyfriend, Riley, who was sitting with his legs crossed. "Why is he sitting like that?" the user asked. Oh, my God.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yeah.
These are things that I wouldn't never even think of.
I mean, it shows that.
Wow. All right. I want to play this audio cut because you and I were just discussing different possibilities here. This is John Fetterman yesterday saying that he believes if you match up Trump and Harris right now, Trump wins Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here this is. Okay.
I think if you match up Trump and Harris, which I think that's really what this is really about, and I do believe he's going to win Pennsylvania. And, of course, it's going to be close, but I've been maintaining that whether it's Biden, whether it was Clinton, or whether now it's with Vice President Harris, it's going to be very close.
And you brought up a great point. Is he looking at internal polls, and is that why they didn't choose Josh Shapiro, is because they knew it wouldn't make a difference in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, because here's the thing. So you look at Pennsylvania, right? Kamala Harris's team needs Fetterman to be a surrogate. Well, that what you just heard didn't sound like a pretty good surrogate. So then it makes you wonder, okay, I mean, Fetterman's not on the ballot this time, but all the more reason, okay, you have him as a surrogate, you get him out there, and then you get into well, wait a minute. What is he seeing? What makes him say that? Because otherwise listen, I support Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and I think they're going to do great. It's going to be close in Pennsylvania, but I think they're going to win it. I think they have a good chance of and no. And he went on to say, he's saying, Biden, even back when it was Biden, I still thought Trump would win Pennsylvania.
He's saying no matter who it was,
that Trump's going to win
Trump's going to
Pennsylvania.
win Pennsylvania.
So
what does he know?
So what is he know?
Looking at?
Where is he seeing internals? We said something in 2016, and we said it weeks before the election. Watch Pennsylvania. There's something else. There's something different. The polls were off in Pennsylvania. I believed, I had reason to believe it. And then it ended up being true, and Trump won Pennsylvania in 2016. But the internals would show you that. And Fetterman would see. So I'm wondering what Fetterman sees. And what the campaign knows, what the Harris campaign knows.
Because this isn't bitterness because Biden is out, because he's making the case Biden would have lost Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Clinton would have lost Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He said Clinton would lose. So what does he say? To make that kind of statement, you've got some evidence to back it up. Is it it can only be internal polls. There's nothing else it could be.
I don't think you go that far. I don't think you make that statement based on anecdotal stuff. That this is what people in my state are saying, or there's some anecdotal, there's no doubt. And we do see it. We know what's going on right now. Pennsylvania is an energy state. Man, I'd love to sit down and ask him the questions. Okay, what is it? What's this based on? What's your position based on? Because that's a strong position. You're not just saying, look, Trump has the upper hand here, or there's a chance that he's saying he thinks Trump's going to win, and it doesn't matter who was running against him. That's a big deal. And I want to know, I'm curious, because I don't see that being just anecdotally thrown out there, based on what he's hearing. We go back to the union, and the union head saying, well, a great number of our members will be voting for Trump, but I endorse, at the time, Biden. And there is no doubt there's a similar culture, mindset, but certainly also the fact that Pennsylvania is such a big energy producer. And everybody knows what's going on with that and how it changes an economy in a state, the kind of damage that can be done long term to an economy. And then you add the fact that, and we've said it, the Democrats are no longer the working class party. So I would love to know what he is seeing, what Fetterman sees. It has to be internals. There has to be something showing him that's pretty consistent and has been in place for a while, that Pennsylvania is not going to go blue, at least in the presidential election. I'd really like to know what he knows.
Then I ask you the question, if he's that sure that Trump is going to take Pennsylvania, if he's that sure right now that the polls have given him that indication, the internals, then how does Trump lose the election?
You said something that really rings true, and that is, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, there's no way he doesn't win Georgia.
No way he doesn't win North Carolina.
Exactly.
And no way he doesn't win Arizona.
Arizona, I was about to say, he wins Arizona. I think he wins Nevada.
Yeah, wins Nevada. I would say if he wins Pennsylvania, you definitely put Michigan and Wisconsin in play.
Yeah.
And it's over. But I don't know what he knows. But you and I would never make a statement like that based on just a gut feeling.
Right. And I wouldn't expect a current member of the Democratic Party to do that either.
Well, that's the other thing, too, with all the negative stuff that came out, because it was everything. It was cheerleading. You basically had cheerleaders for the last 2 weeks on Harris, and all of a sudden Waltz comes in, and this sort of, you look at how quickly it folded for Biden. Everybody was lying. Everybody was lying about Biden. Well, I mean, Republicans weren't, but everybody's saying he was okay. They were all lying. They knew it.
Right.
But when it happened in front of the entire American public, they went, okay, they know our lie. He's out. I mean, they changed like that and had no problem putting Harris in there as, forget about democracy, forget about her getting one single vote. Just throw her in there. It's identity politics. We've got to have her in there. We can't go any other way, and it's too close to the convention. Boom. She's in there. So, I mean.
And they built that false narrative. They wanted to paint this picture that doesn't exist. I don't expect, not that I expect Fetterman to just fall in line and do what all of the rest of the party was doing, but I certainly expect him to be a better surrogate for the Democratic Party overall.
Well, I guess that's my point. When once and everybody went all along with everything.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Waltz gets picked. Nothing but 48 hours now almost of negative news. And then Fetterman comes on and says, I don't think he can win Pennsylvania. That she can win Pennsylvania. And I'm like, they move so quick that once it starts falling down, everybody seems to jump on board. I mean, this is a reactive political party right now, reactive like we've never seen in modern American politics.
And something else that really kind of sticks with me about what Fetterman said. Twice in that statement, he said it's going to be close. Hold on a second. You sound very confident if you actually believe both that it's going to be close. You can't believe both. You can't be that confident
he wins
that Trump is going to win, regardless of who was running against him, and then say it's going to be close. Now, I guess it depends on, and I'll borrow from another Clinton, Bill, it depends on what the definition of close is, but you can't, because you're implying that, it's going to be, he's trying to walk it back a little bit. I don't know, but I don't believe that part of it. You're too confident in saying that. I don't care who runs against him. I think he's going to win, but it's going to be close. No. It's you're seeing something. Internals. I have to believe it's internals, and that's pretty telling.
Yeah, 86690 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
So far during this growing season, most crop producers are seeing
good conditions across most of the commodities, across most of the country.
USDA Outlook Board Chairman Mark Jekanowski says many producers have been holding on to old crop supplies longer than normal, hoping for higher prices, which have not materialized.
Prices are relatively low. Farmers are selling now, emptying out their bins, getting ready for the fall harvest, but they're selling into those multi-year low prices.
Mark says the pace of selling is accelerating as the new crop is developing.
A lot of farmer selling going on right now to try to make room for what is, right now looking like it could be a pretty big fall harvest.
How big? We'll get a good idea about that this Monday when USDA releases its new forecast for crop supplies and demand, including production, exports, and average prices. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
It's Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. You know, we've been harping over the, for the longest time about messaging effectively. We played the audio from JD Vance earlier where he did it on identity politics. Perfect.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll do it. We'll play that again at the bottom of the hour as our audio cut of the day. But also, Ramaswamey was on CNN, and he was extremely effective. Here were some of his debate points.
It seems that the attack line from Republicans is going to be to make him out, we've seen this from the ad that's come out, sort of a radical. And I wonder what that means. What does that mean to a middle-class voter who says that the economy or immigration is the most pressing issue in their mind?
Look, I think immigration and the economy are the two most pressing issues in this election, hands down. But the dirty little secret in this race is of the candidates and the tickets who are actually up there. Right now, Donald Trump is actually the moderate when it comes to policy on this race. The funny thing, Brianna, is if you think about criticisms of Republicans dating back 20 years, supposedly extreme positions on abortion, on gun control, on interventionist foreign wars like Iraq, look at Donald Trump's positions. He believes against a national abortion ban. That's a position that defies much of the Republican Party. Relatively moderate posture on issues like gun control, against the Iraq War and against fighting foreign wars that don't advance American interests today. So if this comes down to actual policy, if Republicans are able to make this about our own policy vision, seal the border, grow the economy, end rampant violent crime in this country, including of the kind that played out in Minnesota under Walz's leadership in 2020 during the BLM riots, stay out of World War III, increase prosperity for all Americans, I think that's going to be a formula for a decisive victory for Republicans. If there's anything that I see as a risk in this choice of Walz as VP for Republicans, it's that we get distracted by his own progressive policy record, that Republicans need to remember we need to offer our own vision, not just criticize the other side. Shapiro would actually be a much more difficult target for Republicans to criticize. He's far more moderate, would have been a far more moderate pick than Walz would have been when it comes down to policy. But because they've chosen Walz, I think this is a great opportunity for Republicans to refocus this election on policy, on what is our vision, irrespective of what the other side puts up.
Well, how long have we said that Donald Trump is a moderate?
Really, since the beginning. I mean,
since the very beginning, we've said that.
Yeah, 2015.
Right.
It's because it's true. And the liberals who want to paint him as this radical, what do they have to do in order to really demonize Donald Trump? They have to lie.
Yeah, because
Charlottesville is still, that lie's still out there.
I don't think they can right now. That's one of their problems, is that Republicans have just started to demonize them, but the demonization is legit demonization.
Right.
Of where they stand and how radical they are on the issues. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think the whole normal weird thing is something that they can take and move right to policy, which they have in a way. Yeah. And by the way, it's no problem. I might disagree with Ramaswamy when he said, don't get distracted by Walz. I don't think you get distracted by talking about his insane opinions on the issues, which are the same ones that Harris holds. I'm not sure where he was going there.
Right.
That didn't make a lot of sense to me. But no, you tell about what you're going to do, but the public already knows. You've already been in office. They know what you want to do.
Yep.
They have felt it. You don't need to explain too much about how you're going to improve the economy, because people already believe, by vast majorities, you did.
Setting the standard for America. Eric Harley and Gary McNamara on Red Eye Radio.
And he's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Download our Red Eye Radio app today, and you can listen when and where you choose. All right, our audio cut of the day comes from JD Vance. And, over the last, we've always, since we've been together for 19 years, gone after Republicans for not effectively debating the identity politics of the left of the Democratic Party. And we've stated this for the longest time.
Yep.
That identity politics is racist. It's judging people by the group that they're in, a physical characteristic, instead of as an individual, by the content of their character. And since you're in the arena of political ideas, the substance of your argument. That's what should be the decision on it. And we had criticized Trump for his answer when he decided to do the interview with the Black Journalist Organization. And we said, nope, answer the question wrong. Shouldn't have been worried about what she identifies as. We don't identify as Republicans, is what you should have said. We don't care about skin color. And talking to the ABC anchor, he should have said, you just said I criticized black reporters. I didn't criticize them because they were black. I criticized them because they were wrong.
Right.
And you make it and you throw back in their face, you're the people that are obsessed with it. Now, JD Vance didn't go this far, but on the question that he was asked, he answered it, I think, as great as you can answer it. He's ready. Last couple of days, JD Vance is on point on every single issue.
Yep.
But I want to play this audio here of how he responded to a reporter.
Sir. Senator Garrett Haake from NBC News. You have repeatedly suggested only reason Kamala Harris didn't pick Josh Shapiro to be her running mate is because of his Jewish faith. Do you have any evidence to support that assertion that a person who's married to a Jewish man is somehow anti-Semitic or bowing to anti-Semites?
Well, I reject the premise of the question. I did not say that was the only reason that Kamala Harris didn't choose Josh Shapiro. So you should, take a little less DNC talking points when you ask your questions and ask a real question. I have suggested that Kamala Harris was motivated, or at least her party was motivated, by anti-Semitism. And the evidence that I offer for that is what dozens of Democratic activists said in the run-up to her selecting her nominee. There were multiple grassroots activists, multiple media personalities, multiple people with influence in the Democrat Party who suggested that she should not choose Josh Shapiro because of his ethnic background. And look, I don't care what your ethnic background is. I know Donald Trump doesn't care what your ethnic background is. I do not want to live in a country where we're choosing who the next VP is based on skin color or ethnic heritage. Choose based on merit. And the fact that so many prominent leaders in the far left felt empowered to talk about Shapiro's ethnic heritage is a disgrace. And I think it's a scandal for the Democrat Party. Yes, I do.
Boom.
Boom. And again, also attacked the reporter for the question, because the reporter knew. The reporter was playing Mark Cuban stupid, like Mark Cuban did on DEI. I don't know, DEI, diversity, equity. It's like, okay, I'll play stupid, and that's how I'll try to win an argument.
Right.
He knew, that reporter knew exactly the fact, because we had played the audio. It was all over the place.
Yep.
That you had the media talking about what was going on inside. And this was on CNN. These were liberal media people talking about what was going on inside the party and the problem they had with Josh Shapiro being a Jew.
Yep.
We know that. And so he answered that correctly. But where we are right now, think about this. What the public knows, where this election stands right now, where the campaign for both of them. We all know, go back a few weeks, go back over a month, in fact. We all know, every one of us knows, that the media, all Democrats, the White House, we're all lying about Joe Biden. The Republicans were right. The Republicans weren't deep faking, and Americans know it. I saw a poll that showed over 90% of public believes that Kamala Harris knew that, that the president shouldn't be president, that he had problems.
Right.
And so we all know that. We all know that all Democrats in the media will lie in order to protect someone who they believe should not be president of the United States. We know that. Then what happened, they couldn't hide it anymore after the debate. And then we know how they went through the process. They didn't go through a mini primary. Everyone knows, every Democrat knows, that how they handled it was wrong, because they did not. This wasn't a case. They can't make the case, well, we did this because he's out of the race because he mentally cannot handle the presidency again. In fact, the White House said the opposite. He could easily handle another another 4 years as president. They simply said he didn't have support in the polls anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Well, if that's the case, then you run a mini primary. This isn't a case where, okay, he's incapacitated. He's still president. He didn't drop out. And every Democrat knows the process they went through is a kind of process that you would see in the old Soviet Union, where the party leadership picks the candidate. So we all know that.
Yep.
Everybody knows that. And then she gets in. She was being demonized just a few weeks before as being a drag for the last couple of years, a drag on the potential of Biden winning and one of his biggest problems. And the fact that she couldn't complete a sentence, she could not articulate, she keeps repeating the same phrase over and over and over again, made it so the entire American public knew, if they had seen her in action, that she was completely clueless, has no idea how the world works, doesn't know about science, doesn't know about engineering, really doesn't know much about anything. And all of a sudden, boom, for 2 weeks, all the cheerleaders come out. She's the best ever, she's the best ever, she's the best ever, she's the best ever. Now, then you had the Republicans make, JD Vance got in, as we all know, and then what happened after was a week or so with the entire childless comment that he had made years before, and then Trump with that, and then Trump with, I think the biggest damage Trump did was going after Brian Kemp. That's what I've heard from most loyal Republicans that go, my God, he's going to kill it. Wall Street Journal. Will Trump blow another election? And in this, they say that Republicans are wondering if Donald Trump made a mistake in choosing J.D. Vance as his running mate. But the more urgent and consequential question for Republicans with the 90 days left in the campaign is whether Mr. Trump is going to blow another presidential race he should win. It goes, as Kamala Harris rises in the poll, the former president doesn't know how to respond. Well, the campaign does, because the campaign has put out perfect. The ads that I've seen are perfect.
Yeah.
The vast majority
more
of the ads.
Of that, please.
More of that, please. And J.D. Vance, especially in the last 48 hours, has shown he knows all the correct talking points.
Yep.
They are right.
Yep.
The one weak link in this campaign is, can the president, the former president, stay on message to win an election?
Yep.
And there is great doubt. There are people panicking. I know my friends that have been loyal Trump supporters since the very beginning, do or die, are like, the election is whether he blows it or not.
Right. Yeah.
Because they do not understand why he went after Brian Kemp. That blows their mind. It's as if they went after Brian Kemp. How else will he screw it up? Now, the interesting thing is he's been relatively quiet for the last 48 hours.
Well, but I have to wonder if, it could be a combination of there is a regrouping, and also the fact that J.D. Vance is out there trying to, and maybe this is their position with so many saying, oh, he picked the wrong guy. And we saw that. I don't know how many people I saw over the last couple of weeks. Well, maybe he shouldn't have chosen J.D. Vance. I think part of the campaign had to say, look, J.D. Vance needs to get out there. He needs to be on the campaign trail, and he needs to be in front of the mic.
Well, that's gone now.
It is gone.
After the last 48 hours, it's gone.
And I think which is really supportive of my point. You have to put him out there. He's got to earn it on his own. But you got to put him out there, and you've got to put that tension at ease. That concern has to be put to bed over J.D. Vance by your own side.
So that's where the Republicans are right now. But Do I believe that the election is over? No. Can Trump stay disciplined? Trump can give every single speech between now and Election Day like he did at Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
It's all he's got to do.
Right.
It's all he's got to do. It's very easy. This is not hard for Trump.
No.
Because when you look at it, we also know that on all the issues where the Republicans stand, all the issues, the 10 issues, actually, who broke it down? Was it was CBS. It was the CBS polling. I think it was the CBS polling. 18 top issues. Every one landslide numbers in favor of Trump. Every single one. And so you look and say, okay, are the polls accurate? Is Trump underpolling? He has traditionally. Yes. Was this just a quick bump because she was new? Yes. I think JD Vance walking over on the tarmac yesterday and going to reporters and saying, hey, how y'all doing? Well, I figured I'd come over since she won't answer any of your questions. So, hey, have they given you any reason for not answering wanting to take your questions? And then he threw up his hands and there was like silence for a moment. Then somebody responded to him from the press and you and I watched it and we played it on the air and went, oh my God. Not only is he saying, hey, if she won't answer questions, I will. Well, let me ask you guys some questions.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so informal and it just totally blew the whole weird normal thing right out of the water. And then later on, when the media was covering the fact that the stolen valor, when Walz walked out going to the plane, they said, stolen valor. And he just turned around and walked the other way. That as they initially tried on fracking, on Israel and everything to move away from Biden, now they're finding out, we told you about the New York Times story about the fact that she's willing to consider an embargo on the New York Times story, an embargo on arms to Israel in order to get the pro-Hamas vote in Michigan.
Right.
That came from the New York Times. Like, oh, my God. And so they're going to have to move left. It's very hard not to. It would have been easier not to move left, maybe with Shapiro, but it's not going to be with Walz at all. We all know that the flip-flop is a lie. And so everybody knows that the Democrats have lied about everything about Biden all the way to where they stand on the issues right until now. And the vast majority of the American public stands with Trump and JD Vance on the issues.
Right.
All you've got to say is point and go, we're the people, and here's what we're going to do.
Yep.
And so I still believe that this is Trump's to lose. And we'll see how he handles it from this point on. But whether it's us or Victor Davis Hanson, who yesterday said, don't attack any Democrats. Don't get caught in any
Republicans. Yeah.
What would I say?
Democrats.
Yeah. No, definitely go after Democrats. Yeah, don't go after any more Republicans. No one.
Right.
Don't go after anyone. Unite, unite, unite. Don't get involved in a race DEI ambush again. Understand how to answer those questions. Just keep it on the issues you win. The campaign knows how to win. Trump knows how to win because he's approved of those ads, and he approved and knows what J.D. Vance is doing. And he said yesterday, J.D. Vance is doing a great job. He knows what J.D. Vance is doing. He knows how he can win.
Yeah.
It's just, will he do it? That's the question on the minds of so many Republicans right now.
Well, and after yesterday, too, you see all the damage that the Harris-Walz campaign has done to themselves.
Yeah. Yep. There's been
It's getting easier and easier.
Well, you know what happened is that we've always said, presidential election you win by having the campaign about somebody, your opposition. And now it's back to the weaknesses of the opposition. Now it's back to the weaknesses in the last 24 hours. And your job is to keep it there.
Yep.
And it's very easy to keep it there.
Yep.
Ramaswamy, hey, I'm a moderate. Here's where I stand on the issues. Here's where they stand.
Right.
You win.
Right.
866-90 Red Eye.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. I want to do an over and under on when they're going to do a press conference, either Harris or Waltz. It's got to be her first, right?
It has to be her first.
What is it? Is today 18 days? I think now. Yeah.
Is it 18? Yeah. It has to be her first. And then, is there going to be a sit-down interview?
I think she'll do a sit-down interview, and that will be. I don't think she's going to do a press conference.
I don't think she would either. I'm with you on that. I see a sit-down interview, but I don't know when.
With the friendliest media she can find.
Right.
White House TV.
Right.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.